All you need to do is be ready for the great outdoors come next spring. When you think of it that way, the fall might be the best time to get your RV.
And that's
NobleRV.ca.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal, and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit sports encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Oilers play a strong game, grab a point, but lose in overtime. I think we're seeing a sliver of daylight. How about you? Based on comments on my blog, comments online, what's happening at Sports 1440 this morning and now into the afternoon, not everybody's buying that. But we can talk about it. That's the great thing about noon to 2. Everybody gets to express their opinion, and then we tell you why you're wrong. The Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick, family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. We are live on YouTube and Sports 1440, online at iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, and Radio Player Canada. After the show, Apple and Spotify podcasts house the show. Barely. I mean, they can barely keep us in. That's how powerful we are. We're on Twitter at Lowetide, Declan Krueger at jfenwick04. And by the way, we tweeted out on X after the show. You can text or call anytime at 833-401-1440. That's 833-401-1440. Our guest today, Steve Lansky, will join us at 1 o'clock. It's Declanation's Joshing Around. We'll have more on that in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I thought a tired team played very well, but couldn't hold off the Lightning late. OT chance by Roslovic. Oh my, how did that not go in? Fun game for many people. Not so much fun for others, but we can talk about that, as I said. All right. So Declan Krueger is the Connor Hellebuck of the show today. He's been shut down, but just for today. He had a doctor's appointment. And so it's not about hair. That's all I know. But he will be back on Monday. And actually, apparently, he'll be back in time for the Jason Gregor show. I know. I thought of it myself. You know, I mean, he doesn't get to set the appointment time, but it would appear as though he has prioritized which show he'd like to be a part of. And I just had to point that out. So he's working solo today, meaning we have distracted verbal, and oh my God, I can't wait to hear what he says. He's going to let the expletives fly. It's only a matter of time. You've got to tune in for every minute because, ladies and gentlemen, something's going to happen because Josh Fenwick is here. Josh Fenwick, everybody, or I guess Al.
How are we doing?
This is pathetic hand clapping, but I am doing very much better.
There we go.
Much
Just
better.
For you guys, so we have a little something extra in here.
So, how come Krueger can come back for the show, the Krueger show, but apparently is he just taken off when he wants to now? What the hell's going on around here?
I think it's pretty simple. He does not care about you.
Well, I think that's fair, actually. I think that he's expressed that many times before.
Nor
But
this show.
I thought he'd, want to put in a full day's work. He's an honest guy. I mean, I'm going to have to bring Mrs. Andrews in to co-host.
I mean, you didn't want to. There's a good idea. There's a fantastic idea. Love it a lot.
See, my hair looks so much better when Krueger's not here.
There we go. We figured it out. It's Declan who messes it all up.
And may I
not
just say, what a nice head of hair you have today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you comb it ever, or is that something that
never,
you can't do?
Never, ever.
Does your mom like it when you'd go with the uncouth look?
No, she hates it.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Did she raise you that way? Did she ever spit on your hair and then straighten it when you were a little kid?
No, she never put the spit on there. It was before we were going out. She'd say, your hair looks terrible, and then grab a tube of that got to be glued, just rub it around in her hands and put it in my hair. Maybe that's why now, because I hated it when she did that. And so now I'm like, I just got to be a bit of a rebel. But also, much like Declan Krueger, my hair is falling out. I think the people on YouTube can see my scalp.
Wow, they
a
can.
little bit.
You've got you got some good cabbage there, sir.
So not for long, but
and here's the deal. I mean, as you know, in big business, what big businessmen and women do is they just let that hair go all over Hell's Half Acre. There's no rhyme nor reason, just like you have.
There we go.
Going to be a future leader of business. I can just tell. All right, I'm putting off talking about the Oilers because I don't want to. And here's why. I'm going to tell you what I think, and then you are going to get mad on the text line because I don't agree with a lot of people, which happens from time to time. I thought the Oilers, a tired team, played a really good first period. And then you could watch them, see the energy kind of seep away, and the Lightning took over the game. And in the third period, it happens. They broke down a little bit, but even Connor McDavid, who's getting like hell online, he had a really nice defensive play earlier. And let's review the last 10 years. Connor McDavid is, I don't know what's the highest he's ever finished in the Selke. It's got to be like 28th.
Give me a moment. I will hit his hockey reference page.
Because I think this is an important point. I'm about to have a thought. It's a very important point. It's gone. That's from Dick Tracy. What a movie. This is taking longer than I thought it would, John.
Yeah, I know the mouse and keyboard aren't particularly amazing, but I'm on his page now, and this thing doesn't want to work. I don't produce enough, so I always I kind of shoot everybody weird looks when
they don't get things right away.
When they're like, what's wrong with this thing? And they start slamming it on stuff. All right.
It's because Declan types too hard. That's what it is.
That must be it. All right. The highest he ever finished in Selke voting was his second year in the league.
Yeah. And what was it? 26th?
Close. That's what he finished the next year. It was 16th. That's the highest he's finished.
So look, here's the deal. I learned this early on in my life. And I learned it from Punch Imlach, who was an arrogant man who never gave credit where it was due. He called Frank Mihaljevic, a Hall of Famer, Frank Mihaljevic, the whole time that he coached him. He was not, based on all reports, not a terrific guy. He wrote two fantastic books. Actually, Neil Young's dad, Scott Young, wrote the books, but the books are fire. They really are. Heaven and Hell in the NHL and the other one. So here's the deal. In the book, the second book, Imlach talks about the Buffalo Sabres. He's the general manager and at times coach of the Buffalo Sabres. He made a decision on Gilbert Perreault when he first came into the league. He said, do I teach this guy how to play a 200-foot game, or do I just let him go? And he let him go. He just let him be the offensive player that he was his whole career. And my God, Gilbert Perreault was an exciting player. And what Imlach did do was he worked a second line into the Sabres arsenal. And it was Don Luce with Craig Ramsey and Danny Gare. Sometimes Jim Lorentz, sometimes other right wingers, but Ramsey and Luce were Luce. He was a brilliant player. They were the top cats on that kind of two-way line. It would actually had better outscoring results than the Perreault line. If it was modern times, Don Luce would be a far richer man. Having said that, the Oilers with Connor McDavid they ascertained or decided early on that because he was such a powerful offensive force, that he was actually helping the defense whenever he had the puck on his stick. 200 feet from their own net, that's fantastic. So for much of his career, McDavid did do some good things, but he was in the learning process. And now I think he's a more physical player. He's a much better coverage player. But as is the case with all NHL centers, there are moments when he's a split second late. So earlier in that game last night, he made a great, marvelous play. And everybody was giving him credit. And then on the Nick Paul goal, he's just a hair late, and bang. Oh, this guy, oh my God. Forget about it. Connor McDavid is the fastest player on the planet who can also stick handle and have his brain match his stick handling abilities and his speed. That is what makes him unique. He's got a giant brain, and everything else runs in sync. And like, he's a special hockey player. When he came into the league, he wasn't terribly physical, but he got physical because he grew. He's got man strength. And he has improved markedly as a two-way player. Having said that, the big part of his arsenal, the big part of his career value is going to be offensive, and there's nothing anybody should or try to do about it. There's nothing you want to change. That said, he has applied himself defensively, and he is better defensively. And to get upset at Connor McDavid after all he's done for this city, bled for this city for 10 years, to get upset about Connor McDavid because he's a split second late, and who the hell knew Nick Paul was going to do that? And the puck had to go in the net. Let's review. I'm not going to get mad at Connor McDavid today. I'm going to defend him today. I'm going to tell you that Connor McDavid, as he is the best possible version of Connor McDavid. Because there are thousands of people. Well, that's not true. There are tens of people who could do what Don Luce did in 1975. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is one of them. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is hurt. Maybe he would have been the guy there. But to get mad at Connor McDavid for being just like, he was in the right. Have you seen a player? I'm not going to pick on Sam Gagner, but Gagner was never in the same area code. McDavid's applied himself. He's a better player. He's a more complete player. I don't agree that he should be on the ice with Leon Draisaitl because they can both play center. Last night was a great night if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, because there's a sliver of daylight now. That's 2 games in a row that they've actually played like they were really involved. Remember I said the other day about it seemed like the outlets were terrible and this team was either unaware of the plan to get out of the defensive zone, indifferent towards the result or the application of the plan, or actively trying to get their coach fired. The last 2 games, that hasn't been the case. And last night, a tired team damn near shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning. It would have been a great story. Give Nick Paul credit. Just off the IR, bingo, bango, makes that move. That's a power move. If he did that 50 times a year, he'd make twice the money he does now. So there you are. That's my story. This is a good day to be an Edmonton Oilers fan. I'm not going to say they're going to win 10 in a row, but this team is starting. It's really funny what happens with this hockey club. They're a unique team in my experience because, and I've said this before, I might be going long, but I'm on a roll. I've said this before. I've never seen a true Stanley Cup contender, and they are, with the highest highs and the lowest lows, the highest ceiling and the lowest floor of this team. They're astounding. They're impossible. The gap is so large between good and bad. And we can talk about the reasons for it. There are reasons for it, but it is true. This is the widest gap in the history of widest gaps. This one is an all-timer. This one will be encyclopedia worthy. They'll write about this gap. My God, this team. Okay. So when you're looking at this hockey club right now and you're saying, okay, where are they going to go from here? They've got to tighten it up, obviously. They've got to improve the outlets, obviously. But more than anything else, they have to believe they can do it. And somehow, this team, uniquely in my experience, uses getting pissed off as a hammer. And they've been getting calls again. There was a call last night that went against them again. And I sincerely believe they use it as, all right, To hell with you guys. And I felt that last night. And good for Trent Frederick for finally scoring. It was a second goal, but I mean, it's been a while. I think the Oilers you're going to hear a lot of quotes in the next few weeks about everybody's against us. Nobody believes in us. They were down on us, all of that stuff. They have an incredible pool of desire, talent, and energy that they can pull from when they feel wronged. And I do think it comes from the captain. Like, do yourself a favor. Never disrespect any athlete. Have you ever done that? You're like on the golf course and there's a ex-hockey player out there and you're like, yeah, I bet I could beat that guy. And then he'll harpoon you for 18 holes. Athletes are different. They never disrespect them because they'll make you pay. And Connor McDavid, when he feels disrespected, it's over. And I just feel as though he's at that point now. The team has had the flu. The team has been awful. The team can't get goaltending. The team can't break out. They're not physical. All of these things. You know what solves all? Winning hockey games. And I do think that they are on the upturn. We'll see.
Rousing speech, Tide.
Well, I don't know.
Rousing speech.
That was like freeform jazz.
Yeah. Well, I think all jazz is freeform, isn't it?
No. You need to, do you have like Spotify in your car?
I do.
Okay. On the way home.
Sure.
I need you to, I want to get the first thing you should type in is Miles Davis, Summertime.
Okay.
I need you to do that for me.
Right now?
Well, no, when you're you're getting home, right?
All
and
right,
then
yep.
you just listen to that and you listen to the beauty of that sound. My God, it's beautiful.
The way that jazz was broken down to me via La La Land was that obviously there's set rules, but it's like controlled chaos, you know?
Well, there's
Everyone
a lot of
has
notes.
different ideas and they start going around and doing a bunch of stuff. And then there's Whiplash, which is jazz is very rules oriented.
Well, I think that there is some structure in a lot of jazz but you're right. I mean, if you get 4 guys in a room, it could be 12 hours, but it's got to be the right 4 guys. Otherwise it's going to fall apart. I sure hope the good vibes help from Brian Fan. Oilers get the benefit of calls every game. Count how many auto power plays they get after the other team scores. Desire? You mean the Desire of 97 and 29 back-checking last night? Dusty Chandler. I'm going to defend them. They're not perfect. Connor McDavid wasn't built to be a perfect defensive player. I'm glad. Good vibes and a save. Well, now I'm going to start getting mad at you guys. You know, Calvin Pickard's had a ghastly year. He played well last night. And if Vasilevsky was this side of human, Roslovic scores in overtime, and then he doesn't have to not make that extra save. You'd like him to make the one stop, sure, but I really have no quarrel with Calvin Pickard. He made some big saves for the Oilers last night. And they were keeping the puck to the outer part. Like, I thought the high danger chances and natural stat trick said they were about even, but I will give credit to Calvin Pickard. I do think that it would be surprising if both he and Stuart Skinner are on the roster at the end of the year, though. Connor McDavid is the reason they didn't win regulation last night, Dusty Chandler. There's nothing I can do in that. There's nothing I can do for that. His line was the only one that had multiple high danger chances. McDavid is an all-time great player. You are watching history here. If your takeaway from that game last night was, well, Connor McDavid's no damn good, then I can't help you. I really seriously can't help you. You are raging because raging is what you want to do. If you can't appreciate Connor McDavid, then I maybe try another sport. This is the high end part of this team. The top talent is mesmerizing in a good way. And the play that tied the game wasn't just Connor McDavid. That was a tough play, a great play by Paul. And McDavid was in the area, didn't get it done, but he wasn't the only one. You certainly would like to have a save there. Where are the people complaining about McDavid? Is this a Toronto radio station? All I see is fire the coach and get 2 actual goalies. For me, I'd like to see them get a goalie, not as hard as people make it out to be, and a guy like Kastelik. Well, I think they're going to get size. I've said Alex Tuck. I'd like to aim a little higher there, and I do think they'll get a goaltender, but I think it might be Connor Ingram, who's played well the last couple of games. Wrote about it today in The Athletic. Recommend you read it. I have 4 players who are worth talking about recalling for the Edmonton Oilers, and I think you'll be surprised at the names. Recommend you read it. God, I've gone late. That's your fault. You're the producer here.
How's
Why
it
are
my
you
fault?
telling
You're
me
the
stuff?
one that said I'm going to
Do
go
I have
late.
headphones on? You can say.
prefaced you were going late.
I didn't hear
I just
Fenwick
wanted to
say
let you
it's
rip.
12:18 now. Maybe you could shut your festering gob.
Well, why would I? It's your show. I'm going to pull a Declan Krueger. It's your show.
So if Gregor's
do
going to
whatever you want.
12:20, which he never does, he never goes to 12:20. Gregor's
Well,
always
Gregor
on.
can't go to 12:20
Oh,
because
okay. Well, if
because
Gregor
he
goes,
starts at 2. So
well, if Gregor,
lawyered
well, tell me how many times that Gregor has taken a break 5 minutes after he was supposed to. Tell me.
many times.
I don't think so.
All right.
All
Agree
right.
to disagree.
By the way, I'm on with Gregor at 5-ish today. All right. Coming up, we have, I enjoyed that. Coming up, we have rumors. We're going to talk about the Oilers. I'm also going to talk about the Bakersfield Condors. Going to do some interesting numbers. It'll be fancy and there'll be a dance with the Bakersfield Condors. We'll talk NFL weekend. We have declinations just joshing around at 140 today. But do we do it 140 or 1240? Which would you prefer?
I think we can do it at 140. I think
Okay.
we can do an NFL preview or something
Okay.
at 1240.
That's what we
Because I
can
know
do
you
as well.
like doing the NFL preview.
Yep.
So
And then and you'll be okay to answer all the questions because I know nothing.
I'll do the best I can.
Okay. All right. And Steve Lansky is our featured guest. He's coming up at 1 o'clock. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get well, I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the only place to call for heating your home. So when it's time to replace your old furnace, call Legacy. Or for 24-hour repair with no overtime rates. Legacy even heats your shower with hot water tanks. Call Legacy. And with no interest and no payments for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven, making it easy. Visit WolfGMCBuick.com. While we're on the air, we have gigantic television screens in front of me and to my left. And I love it for baseball or for hockey or football or, trade deadlines. And right now they've got the, what is this competition called? The axe between the legs? What's that called?
This is like an Ultimate Man thing or something, but simple answer. We hit the old guide button here.
Oh, yes.
Steel Timber Sports.
Underhand chop.
All right.
Okay.
Riveting stuff.
Well, the one I can watch anything. I think the guy on the right is going to win this one.
Well, he's far ahead.
Yeah. I didn't say I was
hold on. Marcel Dupuis, he's coming back.
No, it was
Ben Cumberland comes
Ben
up.
Cumberland had him.
His lead was just too great.
Also,
these guys are huge.
They just are monsters. There's no doubt about it. Anyway,
he's got tree trunks for arms.
The first time I ever saw TSN, it was a guy. I'm not kidding you. I think it was downtown Toronto, but it was like on a Sunday. There was nobody around, and they harness him to a Greyhound bus, and then he nothing happens for the first 11 minutes except he grunts and looks like he's passing some kind of kidney stone, and then it starts to move, and he pulled the damn bus. I'm not kidding you. And that was the competition.
Who can pull the Greyhound bus the farthest?
Right. It just tells you that last century, towards the end of it, people had too much leisure time. It's time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Very much more productive than pulling a bus. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com.
Great read.
Well,
you read that almost as well as Brandon reads a sports update.
No. I'm doing it wrong because if I had my instructor here, he'd say, at the end, you say Great Canadian Solar and you go up. You should say GreatCanadianSolar.com. That's how you sell it. You don't go up like that. There's no reason to. It's silly. All right. So it's time for Rumors. This one's interesting to me. Everything else I've said, not, but this is. Blues Alexander Texier considering contract termination. Now, this is a guy who's had NHL success. The Blues signed him to a 2-year, $4.2 million deal after acquiring his rights a couple of years ago. He had a year where he had 12 goals and 30 points in 78 games with Columbus. And he's got high skill. He's an interesting guy. He's 6'1", 186, not a physical guy, but he can skate and he can do things with the puck. Boy, Cumberland's a man. Holy. Anyway, so they're apparently terminating his contract because he's not getting a lot of playing time. This is the period of time where players who are unhappy often either refuse to get traded, like Jeff Skinner, or find their way out of town, and it looks like Texier is doing it. And I'm not saying they're going to do it because I have no idea if the Oilers have any interest in him at all. My suspicion is no. That said, Glenn Sather, when he was an Edmonton Oilers general manager, he'd be interested. He loved getting projects from, guys who had success or had shown talent or were top picks. He would make a call. He would try to get that player and get him into a situation where he could, succeed. And guess what? He had Gretzky and Messier playing center, so he got a lot of guys to succeed. Zach Bogosian, 111 years old, has been activated by the Minnesota Wild today. Brendan Gaunce has been recalled by Columbus. He's had an interesting up and down career. Jason Zucker is going to be activated by the Buffalo Sabres. I tell you what's happening with Nuge, but, it's day-to-day / week-to-week. The big news today, I talked about it at the top of the show. Connor Hellebuyck is going to undergo arthroscopic knee procedure, 4 to 6 weeks. And it's been bothering him for a while. They're going to get it done now. And they've recalled Thomas Milic. No disrespect to Milic, but it doesn't matter. Hellebuyck is such a big part of the Winnipeg Jets that for the next 4 to 6 weeks, they're just trying to play 500 hockey. And maybe they'll flourish. Who knows? But that is a big blow.
Do you think that, I know Hellebuyck is that good at his job, but are the Jets not good enough to, where they're only trying to play 500 hockey? Are you sure they're not just, a little better than that?
In this league right now? I don't know. I mean,
I guess, yeah.
It's Like,
they're
I guess
fast.
I guess their problem is that they're just in such a tough division.
It's true.
And they're 24 points. They're 5 behind the Stars and 9 behind the Jets, although they do have 2 games in hand on the Stars. But it's the Jets and Chicago have 24 points. Wild have 24 points. Mammoth have 23 points. The Blues are back. They're 18, and Predators are at 16. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 teams. It's the damn Mammoth that are ruining the league. You know that. They shouldn't be this competitive.
Shout out to our friend Paul Hemming.
Yeah.
Friend of the program.
He's great.
They, for the next 4 to 6 weeks, so I'm basically looking at up until the new year, they do not have an easy slate of games.
The Mammoth and Jets.
The Jets.
Yeah, I when I heard that news, I thought what I did was I said, okay, what player in the NHL is more vitally important to success than Connor Hellebuck? And I know the players exist. I do. I understand. I'm not an island here. I know that he's not the most valuable player in the league, but he is among the most valuable players in the league. And
at the most valuable position.
It is they should call it goalie. We all know this. So it's tough. It's tough for the Winnipeg Jets. I cheer for the Jets. I really do. I cheer for them so they can get deep into the playoffs and then lose because of goaltending decisions. And then I can call my friend Dean Belanger and mock him. And sometime in the next 24 hours, he will text me and say terrible words to me because I said that, but it's true. Whenever I see him, I'm like, man, if only the Jets had chosen the right starting goalie in Game 7 of the series against the Oilers, maybe they'd have one Stanley Cup. You don't want to be my friend, Josh. Do you mock with your friends, who are fans of different teams? Like you got some Oilers fans?
Yeah, well, I mean, they mock me relentlessly. I'll never forget the 2022 playoffs. I went to a bar for every single game because I was 18, and all my 18-year-old friends came with me. And they would throw garbage at me every time the Oilers scored. And then I remember they threw chicken wing bones at me.
Of course, like you would.
I believe it was Game 5, and Coleman scored a goal, but it got called back because he made a kicking motion at the puck to go in. There was no kicking motion. It was a hockey move, and it bounced off his skate. And it goes into the net, and they're like, hold on, guys, that's a kicking motion. It's like, are you kidding me? He was moving in the opposite direction.
But don't you think the Calgary Flames, like the Buffalo Sabres, are the team that if there is a screw job in, it'll be against them?
I do personally think that.
They won the Stanley Cup, and Tampa won the Stanley Cup. How's that work?
I don't know.
No, riddle me. I want to know because I saw it go in. That puck was in.
It was in. Oh, I remember talking to my parents on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, Tide keeps bringing up how it went in 04. And then every time he does, I watch it, and then I just get angry. And then I get angrier because I'm thinking about it for a long time. Then I'm just in a terrible mood for hours.
Yeah. That's what I do for everyone. It's my skill. Like I'm the Gretzky of finding something that irritates you and then
the Gretzky of rage bait. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You've really made it.
Well, it's just because of Rick Monday. I want everybody to be as miserable as I am about Rick Monday's home run, and nobody else cares about Rick Monday's home run.
Well, I'm going to be pretty miserable about the Jays for a while, I think.
That hurt, What I saw, I'm sitting and I'm watching the pitch, and I'm like, all I said was, no. And I, you watch enough baseball and you know when it's gone, and that was a laser. It just unless your left fielder is 700 feet high, that's going out. And he hung then you see the replay.
He was waiting for that slider.
Oh, he all day. If he'd thrown him anything else, it would have been a strike because he was waiting and he had it and he nailed it. And he's not a great hitter, but he had a great moment and good for him. But man, from a Jays fan point of view, of which I am not, that absolutely hurt.
It was a brutal one.
So I was really planning on doing this. This is going to be basically the show today. and then Declan had a hair appointment.
Yeah.
Or was it a doctor? I can't remember.
Doctor's
now.
appointment.
Okay.
Doctor's appointment.
So I always get that mixed up because, do we want to talk about the Buffalo Bills, friend?
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
What the hell's going on in Buffalo? I just saw this tweet and I was like, it's kind of insane that this is how their season has gone. In the same season, the Bills have defeated Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield. The Bills have lost to Davis Mills, Michael Penix Jr., and Tua Tagovailoa, all in the same season.
It's true.
They have a serious playing up and down to competition problem.
Yeah, I follow some Buffalo Bills fans online, and they're very like you. They know a lot about football, and I just pick up stuff to troll you guys with. But the individuals that I think it's Samalski who works for NBC. I follow him, and he's like, the Buffalo Bills cannot contain the defensive run game or the run game, and then he'll say the Buffalo Bills play every offensive like when they're playing defense, they play every series like it's the final 2 minutes, and they're just trying to prevent, and it ratchets up by the end of every game. If they're going to lose, he's like, fire everybody into the sun. And I get it. I said Travis Yost, also a Bills fan, and he is so logical and so math oriented and so analytics driven about everything except the Bills. So he will give you concise, precise answers on any professional hockey team, any professional football or soccer or baseball team, except the Buffalo Bills, because he can't. He's a fan. It's tough. They're 7-4. They're 2 games behind the Patriots. Is that done? Like, are the Patriots going to win the division, or can they still catch them?
I think the Patriots are going to win the division. Do I think the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl? No. Their schedule is pretty cupcake this year. It's pretty easy. They had a last place schedule, and so they get to play the last place teams, and that's just kind of the way it goes. And they're strong this year. I'm not going to say they're not strong because they've beaten some real teams. Like, they beat the Bills this year. Congratulations, you beat the Bills. At this point, it's not really saying a lot, but I don't know. I think they'll win a playoff round and go out.
One thing I can say, you might have your problem, but my team is the worst 8-2 team in the NFL.
Are you sure it's not the Denver Broncos? Might be the Denver Broncos. They have a real scoring problem. They don't score that much.
Well, they beat the Eagles, did they not?
They did.
Well,
but they were losing until the fourth quarter, and then they came back and scored 19 points.
Well, those are points.
I think they also blew a big lead.
Their point differential is 65. The Eagles is 33.
Yeah, well, maybe it is the Eagles. I don't know. We can get into that next segment.
Yeah, we can. We should too. And I want to be on time. So it's 12:38. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk NFL. Steve Lansky will join us at 1 o'clock. And then we'll have declinations just joshing around at 1:40. And we'll get to your comments, too. You are on fire on the text line. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, they're driving pretty close.
Because they're attached.
Save up to 15% on select tires until December 13th.
Cool.
Plus, get up to $125 off a set of 4 Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off a $150 service when you buy those tires.
Well, that's handy.
Yep.
And weird.
Well, I love my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Stradler. Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
The basketball show turns 10, and we welcome a new generation of basketball talk. Hoop City with Paul Sir airs Saturday mornings from 10 till noon on Sports 1440. From grassroots to NBA to the Olympics, we've got you covered.
High sticking to breaking down the middle. Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. It did go in, and BC had the perfect angle from Noji. I know. In real time, I thought, well, they've won. Like, that went in. It didn't go in, said Rayner. Well, yeah, it did. Like, you can't, we can say, well, I think that hit was late. Or we could say, well, I think, he dragged his foot a little bit there. I think that might be, he was in bounds. But that puck went in. They had like multiple looks at it. Went in.
Yes, it did go in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was doing a little bit of extra work, but it went in. I'm serious.
See, this is what I was hoping for. You're gonna let the expletives fly one of these times. You start, yelling at me like you do when the mics are off.
I'm pretty abusive to the elderly when the mics are off. I agree.
You are not. You are a very kind young man and a good human being.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm ill today, so I'm not really. But
you are ill? Oh,
no.
God. All right, so I should be hosting right now, is what you're saying, and Connor should be in here opping.
Zach says, "Hey, LT, thought you and your ego might love this story. I'm in Victoria. Went to the Oil Kings Royals game last week. Great game. Sat beside some fellow Oilers fans talking about all things Edmonton hockey. I told him my favorite show is yours, and that your blog is required daily reading for me. I was shocked to find out he also reads it daily, and we were laughing about two fellas in Victoria talking about LT's blog at a Victoria Royals game. Glad the tribe is everywhere." Yeah, me too. By the way, I lived in Sydney for a year when I was a kid, which is right by Victoria. If you've never been to the island, do yourself a favor. Nobody tells you because they don't want you to go. All right. So it's true. It's true. It takes a while. You got to take a ferry, and it takes a long time. And then you get on, you wait for a long time, and then you get on the ferry, and then you wait for a long time, and then you finally get off, and you're on the island. It is fantastically gorgeous. And you're like, oh, we gotta go back over. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just stay there for the rest of your life. It's really nice. If you haven't been, you should go. All right. So we promised we were going to talk NFL here, right?
I wouldn't exactly say we promised.
No,
but
you forced me once again.
Again, have a gun on this side of the table. I just sort of held it up to.
So, well, the verbal abuse never stops. Okay. These are the games I want to talk about. We're not going to go through all of them because I've talked too much already, and we've only got about 10 minutes. Colts Chiefs. I like this game because it's funny that the Colts are doing so well with a quarterback who basically had been left for dead. And it's also funny because the Chiefs aren't really the Chiefs, or at least they haven't been. What's your take?
I agree. The Chiefs haven't been the Chiefs. They're also the Colts, who are, in my opinion, better than the Chiefs, are underdogs in this game. I don't think they should be, although they do say home stadium's about good for 3 points, about good for a field goal. I still don't think the Chiefs are a half point better on a neutral playing field, but I'm going to say what nobody else has said yet. The Chiefs are not making the playoffs this year. Declan sort of said it, but it's like, hey, it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are not making the playoffs this year. I think this is an Indianapolis Colts win. I think they come out and they prove that they really are Super Bowl contenders this week against the Chiefs, who are still the litmus test for all these other good teams. So for the shoe, big win for them this weekend.
How far can they go?
How far can the Colts go?
Yeah.
If Danny Dimes keeps playing the way he's playing, and Shane Steichen, I love the way Shane Steichen calls these games. He finds ways to get people open. They haven't been hit with an injury bug yet. Jonathan Taylor is playing incredible football. I think they could win the Super Bowl, at least make it to the Super Bowl.
So, like, the reason I'm interested in the Colts is because they had Manning and they had great success and they won the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the fans, they got robbed a little bit. I don't blame Luck, but there are times, Mickey Redmond in Detroit in the early 70s, they traded Frank Mahovlich for him. 2 mentions of Frank Mahovlich today. And then Redmond's back got hurt and he couldn't play anymore. And he had to go to ownership and say, I'm not going to play anymore. And they were angry at him. They were like angry that he was not going to try. And he was a great scorer, like a great scorer. They built their team around him, but he had to retire. And the Red Wings were awful for a long time after that. A long time after that. And the Colts had, how long did Luck play there? How many years did he play?
It was probably about 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah, which is a good career, but he was still the guy, and they loved him, and then it's done. And
he just turned 30, I think.
Yeah, and so now, I don't know Danny Dimes is anything, but I also wonder, if you're a Giants fan.
My apologies. He only played 6.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Right. No, it's okay. Still could have made him around 28 when he was done. But if you're a Giants fan, Barkley's in Philly, Danny Dimes is in Indianapolis. What the hell? What's going on? How come the Giants are so dumb?
Because the Giants are just dumb. I think sometimes it's not, hey, the people are in charge of the organization is dumb. Sometimes I don't even think it's the owner of the organization is dumb at times. I think there are just certain franchises in sports that are cursed. And they're cursed to make bad decisions. I don't think Barkley was coming back to the Giants. Just the way that they had handled the whole Saquon Barkley situation, I don't think he was coming back after that. And then, I do think their GM is dumb because he asked his kid who he thought they should draft. And I don't know who, and his kid made the right call. He said, you should draft Jaden Daniels. And then I forget who they drafted, but it wasn't
Jaden Daniels.
It sure as hell wasn't Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
It might have been Malik Neighbors, but I think they had 2 picks in that draft, and they had Malik Neighbors already.
All right, tell me about the Buccaneers and the Rams and why it's really, really, really going to be good.
Because the Rams are an absolute wagon, and are probably the most exciting team to watch in the NFL at this point. Again, no shade thrown at the Colts or the Bills or any of these people, but the Rams are a fun watch. That being said, the Bucs are like the second most fun watch in the league. Baker Mayfield, absolute dog.
He's a fun to watch.
And I believe they get Bucky. Oh no, not Bucky Irving. Chris Godwin's coming back from injury, so they have another wide receiver 1 coming in. So that's exciting. This is going to be an absolute gun show. I think the Bucs cover. I don't think they win, but I think this is going to be a tight one. I don't think it's going to be the 2018 matchup between the Chiefs and Rams from a couple of years ago where they scored 53 and 51 in a game. But I think this is going to be an absolute shootout, and it's going to be an absolutely fun time because the Rams are that good, and so are the Bucks.
All right, Sports 1440, Lowdown with Lowetide. It's Lowetide and Josh Finwick. We're riffing on the NFL. Steelers had this one going away in the AFC North, and then the Ravens came rat-tat-tatting on their chamber door, and now they're a game behind. There's 7 games left in the season for each. How do you see this playing out between the Steelers and the Ravens?
I think the Ravens come out on top. They have Lamar Jackson back. If there was ever a case for anyone to be an MVP more than Lamar Jackson, there hasn't been, because when he was out, the team was absolutely putrid. They went from scoring averaging 40 points per game down to like a measly 17 or something. And then he comes back and the offense is better. Their defense is finally getting healthy. And Aaron Rodgers, I think, is out this week. I don't remember entirely, but someone please text in and let us know if Aaron Rodgers is healthy or not for this weekend. But with Lamar back and the defense getting healthy for the Ravens, I think they're going to take the AFC North running away with it. Not a lot more to be said there. They're also playing the Jets this week, and the Steelers have to play the Bears.
Yeah, that's
good. We're absolutely rolling.
So. I also want to ask you about the Connor Halley's Chargers, because they're like 7-4, but the Broncos have won 8 in a row. And so where do they land? I'm assuming they're going to be on the road for a playoff game.
If they make the playoffs.
Well, they should.
Right? They should, but their O-line is so beat up. Like they're such a tough watch because they're so hurt and they can't block for Justin Herbert. Connor's sort of punted on the season. And they're 7-4. But like, I think watching the Chargers, you're like, this is not a team that is 7-4. And I think they're second in the AFC West. I don't think that's going to be around I don't think that's going to happen for a while, or never mind. You know what I'm trying to say?
Sure. Clear as mud.
But the Chargers have some injury problems, and I think they have the same problem as the Bills, where they sort of play to their competition and not to the level that they are accustomed to. And the Bills are okay to do that because Josh Allen is one of the greatest players on the planet. I just don't think Justin Herbert is one of those guys. I'm sorry, Connor.
Connor has a poster of Herbert on his wall in his bedroom.
Dude, he cuddles with it instead of his wife. You didn't know that? It's a cardboard cutout of Justin Herbert.
Oh, that's not true. That is not true at all. Connor's way smarter than that.
He keeps it in the closet.
Tied on the Lightning's first goal last night. I felt that Kulak could have stepped up to front Paul with McDavid in the trail position. No one was behind Kulak to worry about. Perhaps the ice time from the back-to-back games caused a brain cramp. Hell of a shot by Paul from Robin Westap. I agree. I guess the reason that I talked about McDavid's situation there is we all do this. All of us. We're fans, right, of games, of sports. So and now we have access. We can blurt out whatever the hell we want on X or blogs or, whatever it is, whatever you're typing on. Someone's wrong on the internet. So you just send that out, McDavid, but you're watching it and the play, like McDavid was out of the play by the time the play occurred. And you can say, well, he should have driven in, but he should have driven in deeper and he should have blocked that off. But there was support, right? And so what we're doing when we say McDavid is the culprit exclusively is we are authoring an outcome that may not be the correct one. And then we run with it. And then other people pile on. And then you've got your buddies who are all like, this McDavid. And pretty soon you're ready to trade McDavid. And it's all just a little too much. If you watch the play again, the first thing you need to do is give Nick Paul some credit. The second thing you need to do is you have to understand that that's a shot. I loved Calvin Pickard's game, but that's a shot at that point of the game. You have to stop the puck. And Kulak is having a really tough time, and there's no doubt about it. I was so happy he was on the ice for a +1 at 5-on-5 last night because it was 0 for like 16 or some blasted thing in November. And so, but McDavid's position where he was in support by the time Paul did what he did. And you're asking him to anticipate Paul correctly to get where he was going to be. And I just think that we see the visual evidence and we count it as being the factual evidence. And sometimes that's not it. Sometimes the play has already happened for McDavid. He's already out of the play, and he could have anticipated exactly what Paul was doing, but he had his own assignment too. What if Paul passes the puck back or whatever the case may be? I just think we think we know too much about particular plays, and we have to remember this isn't like chess where you're everything's stable and then you make one move. The beautiful thing about hockey is it's lightning fast, it's on skates, and there's no time to think. So I'm not going to blame Connor McDavid, and I'm going to give him credit for earlier in the game making a brilliant play. And I'm also going to give him credit for the best player being the best player in hockey and an absolute Hall of Famer, and I hope he wins the Stanley Cup. All right. Blasphemy, never counted Mahomes out from Jordy. Well, Josh did.
And I will continue to do so. The Chiefs are not making the playoffs.
I'll make you a deal,
Sure.
Jordy. Jordy, I'll save your text, and if the Chiefs make the playoffs, I will give out Josh's home number, his landline. All right. Coming up, it's our dear friend Steve Lansky, friend of the show. Do you think he's as much of a friend of a show as his partner on Inside the Truck? I really felt good about Paul.
I liked Paul.
Yeah,
I really liked Paul.
Was good.
Shout out to Paul Hemming.
Yeah. Steve was also here. I don't remember much about it, but he was over here as well.
Yeah, I know. He brought pie. He was trying to buy your love.
Yeah, exactly. I was just so impressed with Paul. Paul's great. All right, Steve's next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Josh.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Visit the new showroom at 11577 149th Street. Now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 to 2, or visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. Just 4 games in the NHL tonight. Buffalo hosts Chicago. The Wild head to Pittsburgh. LA hosts Boston in the nightcap. And the Jets welcome in Carolina. Tough news for the Jets. Breaking this morning is Connor Hellebuyck will be shut down to undergo a minor arthroscopic knee surgery that is expected to sideline him for the next 6 to 8 weeks. The PWHL season underway this evening. Minnesota hosting Toronto, and the league's 2 newest franchises face off, with Seattle taking on Vancouver. At the junior level, the Spruce Grove Saints are down in Blackfalds, while the Crusaders visit West Kelowna in the BCHL. In the AJ, Camrose and Devon, both with home games just outside the city. 9 games in the hardwood tonight, including the Raptors looking for their 6th straight win when they host the Wizards. Tip off at 5:30 from Scotiabank Arena. Elsewhere, Brooklyn is in Boston. Denver plays Houston, and the Thunder are playing the Jazz to round out the night. U sports action around our city. Intra-city basketball as the Griffins host the Bears and Pandas at the David Atkinson Gym beginning at 5. Both U of A volleyball clubs hosting the MRU at the Saville Center starting at 6. And on the ice, Griffins men's hockey hosts Saskatchewan at the DCA, while Pandas hockey take on the number 1 ranked UBC at the Drake. Puck drop at 7 for both of those. Coming up on the Lowdown with Lowetide, we'll be joined by Steve Lansky from Inside the Truck podcast, and have today's edition of Declinations, Joshing Around. I'm Josh Fenwick. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station.
CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Ugh, seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit greatcanadiansolar.com and call today to get started.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Sports 1440 is proud to support the Camrose Kinsman Radio Auction, Friday, November 28th from 6 p.m. to midnight on our sister station, New Country 98.1. All proceeds go to the Kinsman Club of Camrose to serve the community's greatest needs. Find out how to donate at sports1440.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
He knows all about the Expos and Oilers. It's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. A little after 1 o'clock, joined by our dear friend and guest on this show for a long time, over 12 appearances, Steve Lansky from Inside the Truck podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How's Paul?
Paul's really good. He'll be excited that you asked how he is.
Does he ever mention me?
More than you know.
Oh, we had such
every time he says to me, say hi to Al. Say hi to Al. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. All right. Well, say hi back. You know, does he have a dog? Could he send dog photos? Love to see that.
I don't think he does have a dog.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good question. I probably had one when he was a kid. I'll see what I can do about that.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Oilers lost again last night. I thought they showed more, attention to detail, but more effort as well. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, that'd be about right. Attention to detail is right. I mean, when does everybody ever say they paid too much attention to detail? No, you don't hear that very much, right? The guy's in math class. He paid too much attention to detail. No, I don't think you ever hear that. So attention to detail equals W. And, I just think they work differently in front of different goaltenders, which I don't think is a surprise to the rest of the world. And Pickard made some good saves, and they were right there. Honestly, I think it's kind of a shame they lost, to be honest with you.
And I agree with you. I think that there are goalies who are, and I don't know whether they inspire confidence or whether it's like, oh my God, legendarily the 71 Montreal Canadiens of Ken Dryden were fighting with Al McNeil, the coach, and they apparently were calling out the line changes independent of McNeil. So that's that's mutiny on the bounty for sure. But I do think that sometimes, and it could be confidence, it could be all kinds of things, that the teams do have a tendency to play a little bit better. A late goal against really hurt, because I do think this team is looking for something good, and a 1-0 shot out of Tampa Bay, a good team on the road, would have been a hell of a headline.
No argument there, but I still think, I mean, it was encouraging. I mean, I don't know when the tying goal came. It was less than 3 minutes left, right? But I think that you got real close and you got a point, but it's probably one you should have got 2. But again, I mean, I looked at the standing. It's not like they're 15 points out of a wild card spot. Yesterday was 2 or 4. I can't remember what it was. I mean, that's really not significant at all. My thought is just, is this a team that went to the Stanley Cup final twice? And I don't see that, but I think we should be seeing that.
Yeah, and I think what they're trying to do now is they have so many problems. I've been railing against the breakouts, the long stretch patches that go nowhere. But there are other issues that this team has. They could be a little more physical. Their coverage, they give up too many 2-on-1s, lots of things that they could do. And they're scoring a little more at 5-on-5 now, which is good, but they've got to keep it going while also suppressing the amount of goals that go in at 5-on-5. That said, Nuge is out. Hyman is just back. And I suspect they'll be adding an Alex Tuck or something like that at the deadline. So the roster we see now is unlikely to be the playoff roster. My question for you is, would you rather see a goalie added or an Alex Tuck?
Yes. The answer is yes. I don't think changing the mix is bad, and you've talked about that before. Our Flats used to do it. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I really do think, and I mean, it's like bringing in Shane Bieber at the deadline. It's like for the Jays, it's not just an average Joe walking into the room. It's somebody who's a little more highly thought of than that. And I just never think that's a bad thing, especially if you've got a team that's complacent is not the right word, but I watched the winning goal and I thought, who's that chasing down the goal scorer? And it was Jack Roslovic. And I watched it again and I thought, there's no way that's all you had in the tank. There's no way. So where is the drive to say, and this is so simple, this guy is not going to score? Where is that drive? Because when I play goal and when I play, this is not going to happen, ... That's the motivation you've got to have. And I struggle to find that motivation.
I'm still shocked that Roslovic didn't score at the other end, although the goaltender is pretty good down at the other end too.
Well, you know what? He was in a bad spot because what he really needed to do was be shooting the other way, and he didn't. And it's like, what are you going to do? Like, can I get this over the pad? I'm not sure I have time to tuck it around because that would have been a mistake. I think that's a tough spot to be in when you don't shoot the direction that you need to be shooting.
Yeah, that's fair. Connor Hellebuyck is having surgery out 4 to 6 weeks. Apparently, it's a problem that he couldn't play through. It's been bothering him. It's getting worse, so he's going to be out for a while. Jets are a heck of a team, Steve, but they're in a great division, and they could fall 2 or 3 standing spots here over those 4 to 6 weeks. I think it's an indication of just how thin the margins here are for a lot of these teams. I'm looking at the Boston Bruins, and they're up now, but I do not think they're going to stay there. Do you get a feeling this year is still kind of weird in the standings as we approach American Thanksgiving?
Well, a little bit, because I looked at the standings the other day, and Detroit was there.
Yes,
and I'm like, what's going on there? So I looked, and then I thought, well, maybe I have the standings from 25 years ago. So I looked again, and I'm like, no, that Detroit is there. Isn't that strange? So yes, the answer is yes, but you said the margins, and this is one great thing about sports is you go back 40 years, the margins were huge. Like the year the Oilers lost in '82 to the Kings, which they never should have in the playoffs. Oh my God, They were like 40 some points ahead of them. You're never going to see those days again. That's done. They're going to be 40 micromillimeters, if that's a distance. Don't flag me if it's not, ahead of the other. Like, it's so thin now. It's so thin. And with Hellebuck being out, you referenced Connor Hellebuck, that's not going to hurt the Jets. As long as they don't go into a free fall like somebody's handed them an anvil at the top of a building, they're fine because he gets some time off. He'll come back a little bit fresh. It's funny, but you're right. I mean, it's so close now. It's so much fun to watch in that sense. And that's something that didn't exist a long time ago.
Do you know, I still remember things about the Miracle on Manchester. I remember that it was 4-1. I remember Gary Unger made a dumb penalty. And I just remember that feeling of like, this is not going to end well.
So I worked for the Oilers in that time period. I did not go to LA for that series. And I worked in television at the same time. And I remember watching that game. And I just remember I couldn't imagine what was about to happen. And yet it was happening. And then when they scored, and I don't have the game summary in front of me, I don't know who scored the goal that sent it into overtime. I know Evans scored the winner. I feel like it was Steve Bozek, but it might not have been.
I think you're right. I'll check.
Yeah, and Fear's down, and it floats over him like a freaking monarch butterfly. But I'm like, is it like, this is clearly somebody somewhere going, no, guess what? You're not going to win this. And then they won the next game, and then they came back to Edmonton, and then they lost game 5 to be eliminated. And that whole series, if somebody should describe it in one word, I would say surreal. It was just a surreal series.
Yeah. I remember Unger hit Lewis. They were up by a pile. And then I'm trying to find out. I believe it was Bozek. I'm reading a summary, but here it is. Hold on. Okay. So it's heading into, it's 5-1. Then Jay Wells scores, Doug Smith scores, Charlie Simmer scores, Mark Hardy scores, Steve Bozek scores, and then Darrell Evans scores.
Yeah. So Bozek sent it into overtime, and it just was surreal. It was weird. It was probably the same thing the Montreal Canadiens thought in 1981. What the hell even is going on? This is surreal.
Yeah, in the Zosky book, they talk about Montreal Forum the day that of the playoffs, when first game, when Slat says Andy Moog is starting, and Red Fisher and a bunch of the media folks are like, Sather's lost his mind. He's absolutely lost his mind. I think it was Don Edwards who was going to be the starter. I could be wrong. It's been a long time, but he goes with Moog, and then less than a week later, everybody's like, "Oh my God, the Habs are out!" And Montreal wasn't like. They weren't the 4 in a row team by then. Dryden was retired. Lemaire was in Switzerland, but they were a hell of a team, Steve.
No argument for me. You were half right. I'm going to go with Gary Edwards rather than Don Edwards.
Right. You're right. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, okay, now Glenn's seen Andy play. What exactly did he have to lose? Because I got to tell you right now, Gary Edwards ain't beating the Montreal Canadiens. So what did he have to lose? And that was one of the things that I loved about Glenn. And there are other coaches that were like that. Like, what do I have to lose here? Well, nothing. Say I start Andy Moog and say he's bad in the 2 games in Montreal. Well, I've still got Gary Edwards. We're never going to win the series anyway. So what do I have to lose? Well, once you listen, you know who's dangerous? Somebody who's got nothing to lose. It's very, very dangerous. And Glenn just figured that out. And, Glenn Sather and Red Fisher were bosom buddies. I'm sure Red knew a little more than he was printing in the paper, but I don't think Glenn had anything to lose, and that's one of the most dangerous people in the world. If somebody has got nothing to lose.
So I don't think the Oilers have anything to lose right now in net. What would you do?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I would try. I would try anything. I mean, if it's Connor Ingram, it's Connor Ingram. If it's, I think you've got to do something, because it's not. Liability is a strong word. But it's become. I think it's become such a liability that you've got to address it. I I see now I'm getting a little bit worked up. I don't understand why it hasn't been addressed.
Would you say the goalie situation is untenable in Edmonton?
Yeah, I just like somebody will say, well, they got to the Stanley Cup final twice. They did, but I think history will show us it certainly wasn't because of goaltending, and a lot of times it was in spite of goaltending. And I think they got very lucky in a lot of things. I think Jake Ottinger played terrible in whatever series that was. Like, Jake Ottinger's not going to do that a bunch of times. Like, they got lucky a bunch of times. And when they got to a team that really they had no business beating, they couldn't beat them. And they couldn't beat them twice. And quite frankly, I think the second time they should have beat them. And that breakaway goal in overtime by Marchand absolutely killed them.
Yes.
And that swung that in one moment that you win that game, you're up 2-0. Nope. Suddenly it's 1-1 and you're going back to Florida. We got a problem. Yeah. And it was like, it can't happen. That can't happen.
No, I agree. And you're not sleeping well because we're 1-1. We got to win at least one game in Florida if you don't. And that's what happened. Anyway.
You got it. You got it.
All right. Thanks for this. Enjoy. And thanks you once again for that pumpkin pie. It was great.
You are very welcome, my friend. Anytime. Have a great weekend.
All right, there you go. Steve Lansky from Inside the Truck Podcast. Make sure you listen to it. It's a great show. And we always tease Steve about his wildly popular podcast partner, Paul, but they're both great folks, and we really appreciate Steve's time every Friday. Okay, it's 1:15. We're going to take a break. On the way, you have been commenting lickety-split all day, and we haven't really read them for about 40 minutes or so, so we're going to do that right away. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Aloha Edmonton, it's back. Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event on Friday, December 12th from 9 to 5. Century Vision Care, Edmonton's biggest Maui gym retailer, is bringing the island spirit to your holiday shopping. Enjoy in-house savings on all prescription and non-prescription Maui gyms, plus giveaways, prizes, snacks, and beverages all day. Same-day eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans, but spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
For one day only, Friday, November 21st, The Brick is releasing Black Friday deals early. Get a sneak peek at the hottest offers on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Save 65% off sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair, up to 50% off mattresses, and up to $1,000 off when you buy 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, they pay the GST. Check out more one-day only deals and additional offers in-store. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans, stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant, nestled in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor Summit's exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails, all served in a stylish, modern atmosphere. For a casual meal or a special night on the town, Summit Restaurant offers a straightforward yet refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Visit Summit Restaurant tonight.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. One of my favorite hockey memories, Oilers knocking off the Habs that year from Smalls. I was just, they were such a fun team. They were so much fun. They were young and they were brilliant and they knew they were going somewhere special. And they owned the town. Like by 1981 summer, they owned this city and they've never given it up. And like there were just extreme loyalties to individual players like Moog when he got traded, and people to this day believe that he was a better goalie and should have been the goalie over Moog or over Fuhrer. Pardon me, Grant Fuhrer. Grant Fuhrer, by the way, earned the job and won the job and kept the job. They're a great team. They really were. Lowetide, we got nothing to lose in net. It's been as long as I can remember since the Oilers gave a rookie a shot. We got a kid in the ECHL putting up really good numbers. Have been the past few years, lower leagues, but it's about wins. What's to lose to bring him up? Jordan Bennington went from the ECHL to the Cup from HB Sandy Beach. Glad you mentioned that. I wrote about it in The Athletic today. Samuel Johnson was the best goalie in the Allsvenskan a year ago. And the Oilers had drafted him. They signed him. They brought him over. And he didn't play much in preseason. Didn't play at all in the AHL. But they sent him to Fort Wayne Comets in the ECHL, which is the lowest rung of affiliated hockey in the National Hockey League. It's like AA baseball or, whatever Dungeons and Dragons league that Josh is in. And he's played, I think, 6 games, 5-1-0, has a .926 save percentage, and I think 3 shutouts. He's played well. They also have a goaltender in Bakersfield, Connor Ingram, who's played not a lot. I think it's 6 games. First one was good. Then there was 3, subpar. They gave him like a 2-week rest, and the last 2 games have been really good. So that's another player that you could bring in and have a look at. And, credit to Calvin Pickard. He played well, but he needed to. His save percentage leading into yesterday was, it sounded like he was flying a Boeing, one of those numbers. And it's better now, but it's still 851. It was like 737 or 747 or whatever. By the way, Stuart Skinner is at 882. I think the Oilers are getting an idea about who they can count on beyond McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins. I think Roslovic is in that group of trust. I think Wallman is when he's healthy. And, I mean, God, if they lose it, I'm waiting for the report that Wallman or Regula, who took a, slap shot to the face, are okay for the next game. Nurse is been up and down, but I thought he's played better recently. Mangiapane's still got a -17 hanging around, but he improved his play. I like Podkolzin. Ekholm's been up and down, but I think I think he can play. I just don't know if he's going to play at the levels that he did before last year, which was a tough year for him. Savoy's coming along. I don't know about Tomasic, I'll be honest. I don't know about Phil. Howard's down. Emerson's got a little wobble. Hyman's just back. 2 points in 4 games with a -5. I don't know what to say about Brett Kulak. I love him as a player. This is an outlier year for him, and he is vulnerable to trade. That's a fact. I think Colorado. The Oilers need to do what Colorado did last year. This is from Not Fred. Trade Skinner for a similar type goalie, like a Blackwood or Westwood. What are the goalies' names in Colorado? Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood.
Scott Wedgwood, yeah.
Right. Not Fred is sending me astray here with his Wentwood.
I think autocorrect.
Oh, maybe. Right. We know they're not going to win with Skinner, so taking a chance on another middle tier goalie is better than nothing. And if they decide to use the cap space to find a higher end goalie or trade for one an expiring contract at the trade deadline, then they'll have two options. I mean, I think that it's worthy of consideration. I've felt for some time that they won't trade Skinner, but maybe they will. If you trade Skinner, I think you need two goalies. I think the replacing Pickard with an upgrade on Skinner is possible. Then Skinner becomes the backup or the 1B. That's all fair, I think. Bill says, come on, LT. Sure, Samuel Johnson is playing well, but against ECHL players. He's not taking shots from McKinnon and Makar here. Bill, I agree with you. I think that they should go with Connor Ingram first. And when Connor Ingram gets called up to the Oilers, you can send Pickard down, and then you can move young Johnson to the AHL and give him some starts there. But I think Ingram is the guy. I don't think Samuel Johnson sees the NHL this year. Having said that, he is one of four players that I highlighted today at The Athletic talking about who might end up being a recall either this year or early next. They don't, surprisingly, have very much defensively for recall. That Regula trade, or I'm sorry, waive. What is it with Lowetide and waivers this week? Anyway, they waived Stetcher, and he was picked up by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Wouldn't it be funny if the Leafs waived him back and the Oilers claimed him, but somebody else claimed him, and then that claim didn't work, and then nobody claimed him, and then Raphael Lavoie ended up playing for the Oilers? That'd be funny. And then the Oilers had to send the Flames a third-round pick in the James Neal trade again.
Sounds like the Flames come out as winners in that one. I'm pro Flames winning anything where they get an Oilers
By the way,
pick.
I don't often have time because I'm busy trying to keep track of both you and Declan. But today I've been looking a little bit at the YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
And two things. Number one, my hair looks way better than usual.
Yep.
And your hair looks fantastic.
It looks nice on camera. That's for sure.
This is the best hair day I think you've ever had.
Definitely not true. There's some pictures of me having killer hair days.
Yeah, but you're 7.
I'm actually 6.5. Please don't try to make me sound older than I am. Let's please be respectful. But
one thing I have to do is I have to get better at reading the YouTube stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what
we don't have many today, and I think it's because I'm not reading them.
Well, actually, I think it's because there's no 1440 responding in the thing. So,
so you're not. I get it. So there's nobody responding, so nobody bothers to click back.
Yeah, because there is someone on this computer that is signed into Sports 1440, and I can't figure out who it is. I went through everyone's little Google because we've run it off here before where it's been Sports 1440. I don't know whose account it is, but oh well, it's just kind of the way it goes. One-man army back here trying to do a lot.
So do we have? Are there double agents?
What do you mean? Are there double agents?
Well, somebody signed in and we don't know who it is.
No. I mean, we're signed in on all the laptops that I'm normally surrounded by, but someone is supposed to be signed in on this. Someone is signed in on this one, and I can't figure out who it is.
Okay. So it's diabolical what they're doing.
They're lying to me. It's a huge conspiracy, Tide.
I knew it. Well, Robert Stack is dead, so we can't go unsolved mysteries, but let's see if we can come to grips with this major intrigue.
Yeah.
Wallman is terrible this season, Terry North Edmonton. I don't think he's terrible. I think he's been hurt a little bit. He came in really playing well, and then he has struggled along with the team. Sorry, Flames and winners don't belong in the same sentence from Not Fred.
Go to hell.
Gotta say, I think Not Fred's correct. I don't think you can tell our listeners to go to hell.
Sure I can. How dare you say that?
I know you enjoy telling your coworkers to go to hell, but I don't think you can tell listeners. I have to say that people have adjusted. I think they like you because they have adjusted to you being a Flames fan.
I agree. So now they get to throw things in jest, and I get to tell them things like "go to hell."
Right. And I knew you'd swear. I said at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, but like, come on.
What?
It's not really that bad. HE double hockey sticks. Let's be real here.
Do you know the George Carlin words that you can't say?
Well, I definitely can think of one that I can't say.
Yes, it is a one. You're right. That one is definitely. It might be number one.
We're talking about the C word, right?
I'm not even going to give you a letter. Never give up on referencing the third round of the Flames. Love it. A leaf on the wind. I've made a lot of. I've used that line probably 200 times, usually on Twitter. If I was in hell, that would mean I was living in Calgary. I'd cheer for the Flames.
God, that is a sick burn.
Calgary's a beautiful city.
It's lovely, but that is God, I can't even lie. That is a sick burn. They got me there. They absolutely got me there.
With the exception of the Saddle Dome, which we know is being replaced, and I'm not going to make light of it because it has had some catastrophic things occur that were out of everybody's control, the flooding and such. So Calgary is close to Lake Louise and Johnson's Canyon and Banff. It is a beautiful city. It's got an international airport. I mean, people know how to drive there, but they're not great here either. What's down about Calgary?
What about Calgary?
What's down? I don't see a lot of negatives about Calgary.
Me neither. I mean, the people on the text line, I can't even see it right now. I know they're saying the hockey team. But honestly, there's not a lot down. You get to see the mountains every day.
I love the new flyaway when I'm driving to Medicine Hat. I don't even have to go down to 16th Avenue North anymore.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah. Saves a lot of time. Because Calgary's it's a big city, but it's also over a wide space.
Yeah. So my favorite thing to say about Calgary. So I lived in the Northwest, and we had this conversation with a coworker at the bar the other day. But everything from my house was about 20 minutes away. And he said, "Oh yeah, let's go here." Like, how far is it? I'm like, about 20 minutes away. From my house, you can get to my grandparents' house, downtown, Cross Iron Mills, and a bunch of other places. And it was basically always 20 minutes away. Anywhere from that 18 to 22 minute range. It was always real nice.
All the hot spots, Cross Iron Mills, Grandma and Grandpa's house, everybody's going to those places.
Yeah. Oh, if you guys want to go to my grandparents' house, it's sorry, I think we're getting some feedback on the mic there. My bad.
You are a very fortunate young man to have your grandparents with you. You enjoy them.
I will. I will.
They're
lovely people.
Well, you know what? And they are more likely to spoil you than your parents.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Edmonton, two best cities in the country from Harry. I love Edmonton. I couldn't, my children were born here. We raised our family here. We have made lifelong friendships here. I belong to a rotisserie and a fantasy baseball league here. I met Karen here. I've seen the best concerts of my life here: Rolling Stones, Genesis, Tina Turner. I've made a fine living and been able to support myself and my raging full scap fetish over the years. So I truly love Edmonton. I don't like the really cold weather, but I do like the winters and I like the fall. I like the seasons. I love Christmas here. I really like the people here. They're entrepreneurial. They're good people. The support that things like Santa's Anonymous and other charity groups receive are inspiring. And I think that I think because business is local in a lot of cases, I think there's a larger sense of caring and community in the business community. And that shows up in a lot of places. Like when the Oilers were going to leave and then a bunch of guys said, well, we can't have that. So the truckers and the executives and the, investors and 23 or how many were all got together and made it happen. And there were tough times, and it hurt them in some ways, but God love every one of them for doing it. Eddie Money at Commonwealth, did not see that. Loved Eddie Money, though. I lived in Calgary for 5 years. Only real problem is traffic. Holy hell, it's brutal.
The one thing I want to say about Calgary traffic, though, is that the downtown traffic, it's thick, but it's, so, in my opinion, like I learned to drive in downtown Edmonton traffic. That was hell. I much prefer the Calgary downtown traffic.
What's the one there they blocked off? 7th Street or 6th Street?
That would be 8th Ave.
8th Avenue. That buggered me up for years because I knew it before that, or at least I could get through there, I think. And then you have to kind of go 2 streets down, right? When did it go in there?
Oh God, I don't know. Before I moved there for sure, but I've been to Stephen Ave many times. Lovely, lovely place to go and visit. But outside of that, I think it's because I didn't drive there when it was a place a road that you could just drive down.
No.
I enjoy it more.
What do the Calgary Flames and the Titanic have in common?
They both look good until they hit the ice.
Wow,
that is dark Bonaccord, Greg.
Kind of funny, a little bit.
Dark.
I haven't seen the Titanic. Did you know that?
I've seen Titanic. I've only seen it once.
You see, I don't watch shows where I know the end.
Interesting.
You know,
one thing Calgary doesn't have is nice sporting facilities. Their football stadium is archaic.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry, but it is.
They do have the Winsport there, however, and that's really nice. Went and saw the Scotties there a couple of years ago. Jennifer Jones' last one. That might have been this year, actually.
So you're already losing your memory.
Oh, yeah. I got so much useless stuff up here.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, is mostly Dungeons and Dragons things. But lots of sports, too. Lots of sports as well. However, there's a lot of Dungeons and Dragons.
You're a D&D man.
Here.
All right. Okay, we'll take a break. On the way, it's declinations. What did you call it? Hyphen, colon?
Joshing around.
Yeah. All right. M-dash, joshing around. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Rooter watches the big game. Go deep! What you watching, Mr. Rooter? The Plumbing Olympics. Frankie Drain Dragon Sanchez is attempting to break the world record in the 100-meter snake. Watch. Wow. Did you see that? He snaked out a 50-pound clog. And in the middle of that wad, a gold medal. What theater?
Yeah, that's very cool, Mr. Rooter.
For a plumber who's good as gold, call Mr. Rooter.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot.
Price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West End and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
$142. This is the Lowdown, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned and community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Lowetide, do you know if there's a gift wrapping place at West Edmonton Mall now? There should be. I know there usually is. I don't know when it starts, though. I'm sure if you went online, you could find that out. It's the modern version of a lost and found announcement. We used to do those too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Swap Shop.
Interesting.
Martha has 12 quart sealers. 2 are missing the lids. $2 or best offer. You have to come get them. Stuff like that. It's time for Declinations, just joshing around. Brought to you by Elks Nation. 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Krueger breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth EE football coverage available on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast. All right, young man, what are you doing today?
All right, so for Declinations, joshing around, we have the top 5 athlete and coach interview moments. That can be press game conference or post-game interview right after.
Love it.
But this is what we came up with. There's a lot of good ones. Couple honorable mentions to start off. Any Bob Green interview moment. He was a coach at, I want to say it was Montana State football coach. He has such lovely lines as, well, it sort of gives you mixed feelings, you know, like your mother-in-law driving off a mountain with a Cadillac. You got mixed feelings. Or, well, we were like the kid playing second chair French horn in the school band. We just weren't good enough. Lots of good ones like that. He wants to organize his kids using the depth chart. Pam Green vetoed that idea. Makes me chuckle every time it comes up on my feed.
Love it.
Awesome. Another honorable mention. It probably would have made the list had it not been. It's not so annoying now. Is Kobe Bryant going job ain't finished when he's up 2-0 on the, I believe, Celtics in the 2010 finals. Job's not finished. It's used constantly now, and I have disdain for it at this point.
There you go.
All right, getting into the list. Number 5, LeBron James 2016 finals press conference after game 4. Sitting there, sunglasses, graphic flashes under screen, says, no team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA finals. He was playing the 73-9 Warriors, and famously came back to win that finals where he had the block, Kyrie Irving had the shot, and then Kevin Love had the stop. And they win game 7 in Oakland. Super iconic. It's used all the time now, just all around, but cold as ice from one of the best players of my generation. Number 4, I have the Yankee lose. A little bit of bias here, I think, modern bias. It just happened. But the hatred between Vladdy and the New York Yankees is unparalleled. Might be one of the greatest rivalries in sports.
I do love it.
Coming out and saying that you wouldn't sign with the Yankees even if you were dead. All-time move. Obviously, there's the backstory there of Vladimir Guerrero Sr. signed a contract with the New York Yankees, and they vetoed it and said, nope, we're not giving you that contract after all anyways. And now Vladdy just hates the Yankees. made better by the fact that he had a grand slam in that series, first in Blue Jays postseason history. And then later on, of course, we know Addison Barger had a grand slam in the iconic World Series, which is another reason this is good. They go to the World Series. They have an iconic ALCS against the Mariners, and then they go on to Game 7 of the World Series with the 18-inning game, and Game 7 goes to extras.
It was wild.
Obviously, they lose, but like just having that happen in the first round, and then just constantly being used as you go up to almost winning the World Series, but obviously they didn't. Number 3, this is the only like real coach moment here, is Jerry Sloan in the 1998 finals, post-game conferences for 2 different games. Jerry Sloan in the post-game press conference after Game 3, the Jazz had lost 96-54. He sits down at the table and he's got the box score sitting in front of him. He goes, "Oh, geez, is this the final score? Like, are you guys lying to me right now?" So really funny moment. In that same series, we had the Michael Jordan flu game, and in that post-game press conference, this is a direct quote that I have memorized. Everyone else know he was sick. Guess I was the last to find out. Didn't look sick out there. He looked sick to you guys. I was just like, oh yeah, super sick. Media's reporting on it going into the game, whatever. He just is like, he was sick. Oh my God. Michael Jordan dropped like 43 points that game, played 44 minutes. And yeah, just unreal stuff from him. Number 2, I have the interview with LSU pitcher Todd Peterson from a few years ago. He came in as a pinch hitter for the LSU Tigers, and Paul Maneri was his coach and said, "Hey man, don't swing. Just like go up to the plate, see if you can get walked or something. We're gonna find something out." And they changed the pitcher. Todd goes, "Hey, they're getting scared up there." Paul Maneri turns to him and goes, "You ever hit in high school?" He's like, yeah, I hit bombs. Goes up, hits a double to extend LSU's lead. They end up winning the game. And then in the actual post-game press conference, they go, "Todd, when's the last time you hit in like a professional game?" And he said, high school, I guess. And then turns to his coach and says, "Paul, I'm going to be honest. I never hit in high school. They wouldn't let me hit. They were afraid I'd get injured. I did do BP a couple times. I did hit nukes, I'll tell you that. But and then Paul was like, "Oh, thanks for lying to me," because they end up winning. So, but just super funny, really good. And then number 1, super iconic, probably the most iconic conference of all, pre or post game conference of all time. Reason to make this list: Muhammad Ali pre Rumble in the Jungle.
Oh yeah, nice.
I'm gonna show you how great I am. Iconic lines like, yeah, he didn't say float like a butterfly, sting like a bee in that one, but I was like, fast. I'm so fast. I hit the lights. I'm under the curves before the lights turn off. So good. And it's like, I know you got him picked. I know you found him. I'm gonna show you how great I am. So good. Love that one. But and then obviously he goes on to win the fight against Big George Foreman in the Rumble of the Jungle and becomes the heavyweight champ once again. So yeah, those are my joshing around.
I love those because some of them are very familiar, but several of them were not. And I love learning new things. So well done.
I'm glad you learned new things. I thought we were going
to practice or we know who they are, but you went off the traditional, and that's
these
good.
are like my favorites.
Yeah, I like
personally.
that. I enjoyed that. You can answer this one. This is from John. Almost every time I meet a real Calgarian, they find out I'm from Edmonton. I met with absolute disdain. Why? I don't hate Calgarians. I respect the Flames and Stampeders. Sometimes cheer for them. I don't know any Calgarians who do the same for us. What do you have to say for that?
Well, I wouldn't say I meet with Edmontonians with disdain. By all intents and purposes, I am an Edmontonian. I grew up here. I lived here for 13 years straight, and now I'm on year 15 of living here. So I wouldn't say I meet anybody with disdain. That being said, I have been spit on by Oilers fans before.
Listen, I didn't mean to. I was just talking.
I thought you weren't an Oilers fan. I thought you were a Bruins fan. What
I
happened?
am a
To,
Bruins fan.
Bobby Orr. I love Bobby Orr.
I grew up a Bruins fan, but when the Oilers played the Bruins in the final, I was a Bruins fan or an Oilers fan.
Interesting.
Yeah,
But
now I'm just a writer.
I do my best to be kind to everybody I meet, but like
You are generally speaking a kind person. I
at
will
times it's like when I meet an Oilers fan, I meet them with disdain, not because the Flames hate the Oilers or anything like that, but it's because like someone spit on me one time, and I don't know you well enough to know that you won't spit on me or be absolute jerk to me about being
I
a
think
Flames fan.
spitting on someone is across the line.
I think it is
gotta
absolutely
say
across the line. I watched my dad get spit on the same time.
Listen, I'm sorry again. I didn't mean to spit on him either.
Well, yeah, you did.
Yeah. He cut up the Stan Weir card, so he had it coming. Len says, I just thought because you work at West Ed, he was asking about the gift wrapping. I get that. I wasn't. If I was offensive to you, I didn't mean to be. I was just joking. But if you're going to come to I want recommendations. What is it that Brandon just brought in? What is that called?
Wetzel's Pretzels.
Go to Wetzel's Pretzels. Go to all of our sponsors who are here in the mall. I mean that beef jerky is so damn good. You've got to get a pile of that. There's the Lego store, which is fantastic.
You're just naming all the things around our office.
Well, I'm just thinking.
You just don't travel far enough.
No. I used to live at West Edmonton Village. People would drive into town, and I have to tour them through West Edmonton Mall. I've been in West Edmonton Mall probably 1,000 to 1,500 times in my life.
That is truly unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's because people I think that because I've lived out of Edmonton and in Edmonton, I think people in Edmonton may not realize what a massive, massive enterprise and how famous West Edmonton Mall is. In 1987, I was in Seattle. We stayed at a downtown hotel. I'm in Seattle. We're really hungry. We've been driving all day. And there's a pizza joint just down the way. Like I can see it from my hotel window. So I go, I'm going to go get a pizza. So I go downstairs and I walk across the street and I walk in and this guy is throwing like dough up in the air, making the pizza crust, right? And it's pretty wild to watch. So I watch that for a minute and then I order my pizza. And while it's being made, because he's making the pizza for me, and putting it in this giant box. He says, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Edmonton. And he said, Gretzky and the Mall. And that was 40 years ago.
Shout out to that guy. He knew it was up.
So we're in a pretty famous place. And I think that that's always been true, but it's still true. Like I can tell you when every once in a while, I got friends who are in Saskatchewan, and sometimes the mall will get really busy for no reason. And I'll say, hey, is it like a week off for kids in Saskatchewan? And they'll say, yeah. Okay, yeah, because the mall's full. It's a destination place.
Absolutely.
And I'm going Christmas shopping here soon, so I'll be buying a lot of stuff.
Me too, pal.
Soaps and stuff. I'm going to get you some special soaps. It'll be real nice.
Is that special soap called Rogaine? That'd be cool.
I love this show because the old guy has hair and the young guys are worried about losing hair.
As we should be. We are losing hair.
You've got
Declan's hairline?
Look, the only problem with your hair is you don't comb it. I think your mom should send you a brush.
Seriously thin. I have 2 brushes at home.
Yeah, a lot of hair in them?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Ungodly amount.
All right. Okay, Jason Krueger on the way. Thanks for tuning in. Please enjoy your weekend.
The Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Your fridge just got an upgrade. Over 200 chef-prepared gourmet meals waiting at Loca Quality Market. Shop local at loca.ca. Just 4 games in the NHL tonight. Buffalo hosts Chicago. The Wild head to Pittsburgh. LA hosts Boston in the nightcap. And the Jets welcoming Carolina. Tough news for Winnipeg breaking this morning as Connor Hellebuyck has been shut down to undergo a minor arthroscopic surgery. that is expected to sideline him for 6 to 8 weeks. The PWHL season getting underway tonight. Minnesota hosts Toronto, and the league's two newest franchises face off with Seattle taking on Vancouver. At the junior level, the Spruce Grove Saints are down in Blackfalds with the Crusaders. Visit West Kelowna in the BCHL. In the AJ, Camrose and Devon, both with home games just outside the city. 9 games on the hardwood tonight, including the Raptors looking for their 6th straight win when they host the Wizards. Tip-off at 5:30. U Sports action in our city tonight. Intra-city basketball as the Griffins host the Bears, and Pandas at the David Atkinson Gym beginning at 5. Both U of A volleyball clubs hosting MRU at the Saville Center starting at 6. And on the ice, Griffins men's hockey hosts Saskatchewan at the DCA, while Pandas hockey take on the number 1 ranked UBC at the Drake. Puck drop at 7 for both of those. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Jason Gregor Show. I'm Josh Fenwick. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.